Hello there, and welcome back to the Doug Show podcast. It's presenter Nazari, and that's the episode number 1 of our new season, season 2. I can't actually wait to start the episode, so let's directly go in, and I'm gonna tell you about season number 2 just within a few seconds. So, the season number 2, what is it going about? Basically, I decided to tell you more about Belgium, about its culture, people, traditions, some basic things, and actually unusual and unexpected for me things. As you understand, we're gonna talk about everything in Belgium. We're gonna talk about languages, food, holidays, sport events, and just how life is going on here. And I'm living here for 2 years, and I'm surely can say that there are a lot of things that are different if we're gonna compare Belgium to Ukraine. So I have quite a lot of stories to tell you, quite a lot of funny moments, unexpected, unusual, and much more. And I guess it's good to start with Belgium as place, as a territory. So Belgium is just the middle, the centrum of Europe. And just next to it we had Germany, we have France, we have Netherlands, and we have Luxembourg. So for fans of traveling, for people who are enjoying travel, it's just the perfect place to live in, let's say, because it's so easy to reach any other European country from Belgium. So within 1 hour you can get to Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Hungary, anywhere. And the biggest bonus, I guess, is the cheap tickets. They gonna cost you like 20 euros, maybe 30 euros, but if you're gonna buy them like 3 months before your trip, it's gonna cost you almost nothing. So if you are a fan of traveling, it's definitely one of the best places to live in. And we are moving to the next one. And as for me, the one of the most important things in any of the country is language. And when I first came to Belgium, I had no idea about language here, about how can I or how should I communicate with them, because I knew at that moment my mother languages, Ukrainian and Russian, and I knew pretty enough English to get a discussion, to get small dialogues with people, to, let's say, solve my problems. And as I already told, I guess, in one of my previous episodes about football, I had to use English at the first few practices, and then during the first few months to just let the people know what I want. And after some search on internet about languages, I saw that there are actually 3 official languages here in Belgium. And I have seen that like 80% of the people understands English and they can speak fluent English. So it wasn't a big deal for me, but actually I decided to learn their language, of Flemish language, let's say. It was Dutch. I went to the school, I went to courses that helped me a lot to get my certificate, to get to the university actually, because now I am a student and I follow the major of media and entertainment business here in Mechelen. Mechelen is placed between Antwerpen and Brussels. Brussels is a capital of Belgium, and actually that's a funny thing because for some reason they are also like an independent part of a country. They have their own parliament as like a Flemish part and Wallonia. In Wallonia, they speak French mostly, and there is a small part just next to Germany where they, yes, actually speak German, but it's not that popular, and most of them speak, I guess, French. But that's not a big deal for everyone because normally people, children, let's say, and teenagers, they have French at school, and some of them has German too, so it's easy to communicate if you go to another part of your country, if you go on a trip or shopping or you have appointment or anything. It's easy to communicate. But I guess it one year ago, as for me it was quite unexpected that so many people here speak English that fluent. But then I came to Wallonia for a meeting with our friends, and we went to the shop. We wanted to buy some wine and cheese, and we just started the conversation in English. And the cashier who sat there in shop, he responded in French, even though they speak English, but they just don't want to answer you in English. I don't know why. I have no actual idea what the reason is, but that's true. That's how it was 1 year ago. But now, actually, I heard on news and I read some articles on internet about it that the government gonna decide to make English an official language in Brussels, only in Brussels, because there are so many tourists and all the companies or the services should be able to make a conversation in English, to speak fluent English. So that's like a bonus for us. If we have the problem there, we don't have to learn French to solve that problem, but we can easily talk in English. And like they have to answer us in English because that's gonna be the rules. And I wanna add some, let's say, advices for people who decide to move to Belgium or just want to get there. It's easier to learn Dutch than French. So basically, if you are not a big fan of learning new languages, I would rather to go to Flemish side or to Brussels if you're good at English, but it takes much more time to adaptate to the country people if you're gonna learn French, because as for me French is much difficult than Dutch. Of course everyone can say that French is so old, so romantic, it's so beautiful in movies, videos, songs, but when you go on streets, on let's say one of the streets in Brussels, and you hear their French, that's quite different from the one from the movies one, from the songs. It sounds so messy. It sounds really not that enjoyable, not that romantic anymore. That street language is quite aggressive, and when you start learning it, the pronunciation is difficult. There are a lot of letters who you just don't have to say, but you say them because normally that's the rules when you learn new language. But the French is quite difficult for people who have no experience in learning other languages. Maybe if you know like Spanish, Italian, or the English, that's not gonna be a big problem for you. But for new people who are speaking only their mother languages, that's gonna be a difficulty. And if we are talking about Dutch, Dutch is actually, as I heard on internet, people call it the drunk English or the drunk German, because that's a sort of mix of German and English. Because I've learned for a few months German. It wasn't great, but I still can remember some words and phrases. And when I started learning Dutch, I was like, oh, yes, I know that word. And then the grammar is quite similar to the English one from English language. So it was pretty easy and pretty fast for me to learn Dutch as a new language, and it actually the grammar of English helped me really a lot. So if you still don't know English, I would prefer learning as much as possible. You can learn English by reading the books, listening to music, listening to the series. You can just explore some new places. You can watch videos on YouTube, on Netflix. You can do everything you want. You can exercise online on Duolingo, on any other website, and just practice as much as possible, because you have online video calls with random people, and it's, as for me, one of the best way for people who are really shy, who has not that much people around to talk in English. That's just, everything is only in your head, in your mind. If you want to, you're gonna do it, but if you don't want to, you're gonna search for 1001 opportunity not to do that. So it was short about language, it was short about place, and in the next episode we're gonna talk, I guess, about people, about culture, some tradition, and that would be grateful. I see you all within 1 week. Also, don't forget about my Instagram, about my TikTok. Also, you can find some videos there. I'm gonna share link to all my social media. Put some stars for that episode, for my podcast. It was the start of season 2, episode 1, the Duck Show podcast. Love you all, and bye bye.